when we left, we were going all kinds of like, whoa, what about this and what about this? All kinds of possibilities. And Dad, since you're in here, we had mentioned this little phrase, you dream it up, we'll wire it up, okay, type thing, and like using that as like a new slogan. And I can't remember how it was. It you dream it up, or was it just dream it up?
Dream it up, we'll wire it up.
We'll wire it up. So literally, my dad and I were on a walk, and this is a funny story. You'll get a kick out of this, okay? We were just barely talking about new technology, and this morning we were even talking about a book called Who Moved My Cheese? One of the characters in there is called Sniff, and he's a mouse, and he kind of always has his nose up, and he's looking for new technologies and what's going to happen. My dad is a Sniff in that way, if that makes sense. He's always kind of looking for that new technology, and oh wow, this looks like it's going to be over here. So we were walking, and we were talking up in the mountains, and all of a sudden we kind of came up with this little slogan, and I was like, Dad, I need to write that down. We stopped. I took my backpack off, got my first aid kit out because I had a little Post-it note and some pencils in there, and started writing it. And my dad takes his cell phone, uses his voice translator to text, and says, dream it up, we'll wire it up. And it basically translates from voice to text, and he tries to send it. The only reason that I won is because he couldn't have signal. But like, I got mine scribbled on my piece of paper quicker than he did. But like, my dad was using that kind of a technology. He loves that kind of stuff. But like, that's just a funny story. And Dad, thanks for going on those walks in the morning. That's actually a good therapy / fun times. Good stuff. Okay, so right before we left, we were kind of talking briefly about potential, how you can take Adilas, what it is, and then you can dream it up and then basically kind of wire it up to that level, okay? Any comments that we have on that before we get going? Because what I'd like to show you is actually I'd like to show you our first tip of the iceberg of a custom interface. So this is called the classic interface. If I hit my chooser, I can come in here and I can say, cool, show me my favorites. This is very touchscreen friendly. Big buttons, I can touch it even on a phone, and it gets me to those different places. Here's another one. If we can hit chooser, and we come down to this little spot right here, this is an interactive map. I can literally click on any piece. If I wanted to go to customers, I just click on the physical thing that says customers. I could go right to the FlexGrid tie-ins. Like, this is kind of a visual type map as well. Well, what I'd like to do, actually before I jump, is there any comments or questions that we had coming from lunchtime? Where we're headed is a dream, and then who gets to wire it up and how does it work, okay? So what I'm going to do is we're going to take you to another play site. If you're logged into Adilas demo, and then 1234 is as your password, I'm going to switch to the school services one. This is still kind of being worked on, if you will, but when I go to school services, we are going to land on the new thing. So if I go home on school services, this is my interface, okay? And so basically what you have here is you have a school-type interface. This was developed and designed by a college student by the name of Russell Moore. He happens to be my brother, so we worked on this a lot together, but he was the one who totally did this. Did you know that this interface has over 60 buttons on it? 60, okay? So watch this. My calendar, every single piece that I'm going over is actually a button. If I want to do clock in and out, click. I'm currently not set up to that department, but I can click on things. If I want to see my week at a glance, click. Here's my week at a glance. All of my different little time periods that I have going on, okay? If I want to see what student follow-ups have I done, or what student notes have I done, I could click on them. It literally takes me right to those pieces, just clicking on different pieces of the puzzle. If they want to add core data, this basically is taking a student, they click here, here's their student list, and they add core data, they click on it. Virtually what we're doing is we're going here, and immediately they're actually going to be adding FlexGrid tie-ins. What's their age? Where am I recording this information at? Etc., etc. Like, click, click, click. What it is instead of going customer and then adding a FlexGrid tie-in and going through a FlexGrid piece, we're skinning it. We're basically putting a custom interface on this thing so that if you're at home and I'm a teacher and I only have a certain number of students that are assigned to me, so here's how this works, okay? Teachers is not a term we use in Adilas. However, we do use users and salespersons. So we use a setting and basically say, let's just do a little smoke and mirrors, and we'll flip-flop that to teacher, okay? We don't have students inside of Adilas, but we do have customers, and they have logs, and you can tie them to time, and they can be tied to FlexGrid. So we do, once again, some smoke and mirrors on the corp-wide settings, and we can create this little custom little interface. So literally, here's kind of the old-fashioned way of doing it, okay? Say we didn't have this interface. I'm going to actually flip out to a classic homepage. Say I have a student and I know that her name is Abby, A-B-B-Y, then I would have to click on student and I would have to go, okay? Oh, Abby Jones, perfect. Then I would go to her log. Okay, here's Abby's information. We've already added a couple of FlexGrid tie-ins, and some notes, and some additional contacts, and some stuff like this. Here's how I would do it in a traditional manner. Add a piece of FlexGrid tie-in. Here's her main information. It's still Abby. Is she connected to anything else? Nope. Here's these same pieces that we were just looking at right here. 3 to 4 and 5 years old. Here's my creative arts. Here's my other pieces of the puzzle. What we're doing, I have notes, and this is what the current FlexGrid looks like according to what's going on. So what we're doing is literally we are skinning this process where I did a quick search, I found the customer, I went to her log, I clicked Edit FlexGrid tie-ins, and now I'm scrolling down and I was going to add it. It's literally going to be like this. From their home page, they go like this. I know I want to add a FlexGrid tie-in. I know it's to Abby. Go. Like, we just skipped 10 steps, okay? And it's super simple. This is going to be a 2-step process, step 1 of 2. It's actually, if I select this right now, you'll see that I'm currently working on it. Like, under construction. I'm just, like, this was literally, this is my current project. I have to demo this thing tonight. So when we get done, I'm still going to be wiring this thing up. So, but anyway, I just wanted to show you, like, it's that simple. And boom, instantly it's adding that record in for that particular person. So we were talking about iPads. Imagine what this would look like on an iPad. Super simple, okay? And this whole middle section right here, I'm going to get my marker really quick and just kind of show you some fun stuff. This is a button. 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 This is for like grades and adding grades. And this is if you want to log out, you want to unplug. Like, it's kind of funny. This is a huge button right here. This is, I can get all my students at a date, clock in and out. This entire section is dealing with searching, okay? All of these things, home, advanced, all, yesterday, today, tomorrow. It's kind of like quick little links. Those are all different little buttons. There's over 60 little buttons on this teeny little interface, but you could totally do it on a touchscreen on an iPad in a heartbeat. So what the goal is the lady's name is Nita Smith. She is out of Richmond, Utah, where I live, but she teaches for a school out of Brigham City, and it's an early learning center. But she came to me and she's like, hey, I was looking to see if I could do this and this and this and this. And I was like, you know what? We don't currently do that, but I'll bet you anything if we take Adilas, some of the functionality, we use the CRM functionality and the scheduling and the FlexGrid. So we're basically mixing and blending just like we've been talking all day today. We're doing this. She had a goal or a need. I need to track my student data. And I said, no problem. Guess what? Out of your functions, we're going to grab your CRM and your scheduling and your FlexGrid, which is basically right here, tying all these pieces together. And guess what? We'll use some players, and we'll just use some corp-wide settings. So your customers are going to now be called students, and your users and employees are now going to be called teachers. We're going to create these relationships because they already exist. And then the concepts, we're going to put it together so that you can skin it how you want to. Okay. So anyway, this is just a small little teaser, if you will, of like how you could kind of tweak out an interface to use Adilas and then shortcut pieces and puzzles. So right here, watch this. We're going to just go add. So up here in my calendar, say I clicked on today. What do I have on today in my calendar? Currently, I have nothing right now. But if I add something, say it's currently what, 1:15? So I'm just going to find my 1 o'clock. Just go right here, and I'll just go, just quickly, I'm just going to add something. 1:15, testing the system. So you're basically just putting in your elements of time just like normal, okay? This is the important piece. See how it's assigned to me as Adilas demo? When I add this element of time, click, it creates the element of time and whatnot. If I'm home and I wanted to see what did I have today, it literally is this easy. What's going on today? Oh, sweet, cool. Like, it gets you to your search capability incredibly fast. I'm going to switch to the classic mode and show you how I can get to this exact same screen and how many steps it takes, okay? Watch this. If we go home, and I'm going to hit Chooser, Classic. Okay, let's pretend that I wanted to get to that same thing. I want to see today's activity filtered by me. I would have to go like this. System time and request. Go to the Elements of Time homepage. Go. It automatically drops me into a calendar view, which is not necessarily what I want. I would have to go search hide criteria. I say I'm actually looking for daily for today's date, and I want to come down here and I want to say assign to Adilas demo. Go get it. Oh, you know what? I even forgot to switch it to time slot mode. Click, search. Okay, here's the exact piece that I was right there. But did you see how many steps we were able to take out? That's how you can skin Adilas. Okay, like once you know where you're going, dream it up. And then we can wire it up, and then like literally that's where we can take this to that level. Okay, so no one has ever seen this interface. It's basically brand new. And matter of fact, I guarantee you that even these little pieces, this new little guy and the iPad, and like these are different buttons. This takes me to my permissions. Okay, so like I can come in here and I can change my username and password and check any sort of my histories. And this is my own like little laptop type thing. Okay. If I click here, it's going to go grades, and here it's going to go histories, and et cetera, et cetera. Like, basically, it's kind of fun, but we can get you to all your pieces incredibly quick. Okay, Tanya, you're a web designer and a graphics person. Could you see some potential here?
Yes, because we already know from our training that the Adilas engine is very powerful, which no matter how good something looks, if it does not function correctly, then you've got a problem. But for a certain segment of people, they don't want to think about all the fields and all the places they're going to go. And they don't want to think basically about the power they have. They just want to visually say, this is where I want to go, this is where I want to have to think about it. And so what an interface like this does is it for those people who don't want to bother their brains or in other places, like a teacher that has 30 students in a classroom.
Sure.
They can just like, I'm done.
Yep.
And that's what they want. They don't even necessarily care how powerful their engine is as long as it works.
Sure.
So that's the power of the interface of the skin.
Awesome. And so this is something that we're finding with Adilas, okay? Like people are always like, what's your GUI look like, and what's this? Well, my idea of a good interface is totally different from somebody else's. And so if we spend tons and tons of time and money and create this interface, I guarantee you we're still going to have people who are not happy. Okay? Whoa, that looks like DOS. Oh, that looks like archaic. Oh, I love it. I can just go anywhere I want, like totally different personalities. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of turn it on to the user in a very soft way, kind of be like, dream it up. What do you want? What do you need? Okay? The other day we were in a vehicle place and it had trucks, cars, SUVs. You could make that into a visual thing in a heartbeat. It's just overlaying buttons and links, hyperlinks, hotspots onto graphics. Or if you want it to be fully interactive and actually show like things going around and doing different things, you could make a Flash interface or a JavaScript interface or whatever. It's still connecting to some of the underlying pieces. It's just how you're getting there. So I'm going to go back to the Adilas formula for just a second, but watch this right here. What is the result you're looking for? Okay, potentially it might be dealing with your graphical look and feel. Well, we can mix and blend all of these different little pieces, including using custom wording and settings and stuff like this to get you exactly what you want to do. Okay, this particular interface that we are looking at right here, this is doing the exact same thing that we were doing in the that if I want to say, hey, I want a new piece of time, guess what? I still am writing on top of this Adilas engine. I could go just like I did in there and go, boom. Okay, it's ready to play just like an Adilas piece, but if at any point in time, if I click on here, I'm like, okay, cool, what have I got? Oh, you know what? I know that I just barely added Johnny's stuff. Like, watch, here's how quick it could be. This one shows all of your standard pieces. It's got names, addresses, photos, tons of links. Watch this. The same exact report in a super condensed version. Maybe this is all the teacher really wants to see. Okay? And they wanted to get to Wendy. They could literally get to Wendy this quick and be like, you know what? I just saw Wendy do this. I better log this. You know, I just saw Wendy do this and that. And they'd be more specific, but basically, I'm just going to call that a general note right now and just quickly log it. But boom, I was literally into Wendy's record that quick. I added a note. And now later on, if I'm back here and I'm here at home, my student log notes, what did I do today? Oh yeah, I did record that for Wendy. Like, you're instantly getting your data. You're not only putting it in quick, you're able to then retrieve it quickly as well. And so this is just a teaser, if you will, and this will continue to kind of develop this and work with it. But this is what we're hoping to actually do so that other people can dream it up and we can give them the power to then connect all these different pieces. The technical term for that is called an API, which is an application programming interface. But we're trying to kind of head towards that way. But look at this. This is your world. If we're talking world building, and I'm a teacher, I just built you a teacher's world, okay? What did I do last week? Oh my goodness, I have no clue. What have I got going on tomorrow? Like, what have I got going on for my calendar events tomorrow? If I click on this right here, oh, nothing, sweet. You know what? I just had a lunch appointment. Let me just quick slam this in real quick. Lunch with Tom. Okay, or whatever. If I wanted to add some notes, great, boom. Literally, I just added it. Boom, I can go right back home. I'm working. If I wanted to check it out, what I got going on tomorrow, as soon as the data's in there, it now exists, okay? And if you wanted to kind of be like, say for instance, you're like, what have I got going on this whole week? You can click on it, like it's going to kind of show you what your different pieces are. You're quickly filtering down your data so you can get to it quickly. Like, these buttons may not look that important. Once you start loading the system, these are going to be instant. Get me there quick, okay? Have I added any FlexGrid tie-ins? FlexGrid tie-ins, data points, okay? Grades, FlexGrid. You know, all these kind of things, like, we're just basically, the FlexGrid, what it is, let me just show you this really quick. It might help a little bit. We're going to go FlexGrid homepage. Actually, watch this. Instead of using the quick search, why don't I go right here? Home. That was even quicker. Here's what the FlexGrid is, okay? And Cheryl and Shannon have kind of seen this a little bit before. And Tanya, you may not have seen this before. The FlexGrid rides on top of Adilas, okay? So all these different connections are happening. You have different players, different individuals. You have different things happening. What the FlexGrid allows you to do is like, you know what, I need some customization and some pieces that Adilas does not track by default. But a user-defined, you kind of made the term like a front-end programmer. Imagine if we gave you a database to write on top of Adilas that a front-end programmer, not a back-end, not a hardcore techie person could do, a front-end programmer could do and set up these things. Watch this really quick for just a second, just to show you how easy it is. You know those little fields that, like the ages and all that kind of stuff? If you have the permission, you have to have the admin permission, you manage the custom fields. Click. You come into an environment like this where you can set them up. I'm going to scroll down so you can see student. This is front-end stuff that I did just through a normal interface, but these are the different pieces. They're going to end up having type and age and core and section. And these are all the different little pieces that I'm starting to build, and a rating score and an alternate rating. These are custom fields that they wanted, but it's all from a front-end. Like literally, this little thing to put not yet under here, this is how simple it looks. Okay, it's like two fields, piece of cake, okay? If I come back here, say I wanted to add a new one, this is literally Once I create it and I told it what kind I wanted it, add a sub to that. Okay, cool. We're going to be under here. Like, just for fun, watch this. Say I wanted to put 6 and I wanted to put super duper. How do you spell duper? Is it BP? Is it super
I always
duper?
thought it was OO, but I'm not sure. I don't know if it's an actual word, so.
Okay, anyway, what I'm going to show you is, watch this right here. If we hit add sub, and now I scroll back down to students, I'm literally loading whatever I wanted, okay? Here's my super duper or whatever. I know they don't want that, so watch this. I'm going to say, you know what? I scroll back down here. This is managing my database, literally point and click. This is a database that rides on top of Atlas. What am I not recording that you want to record? Oh, is this just a one-to-one relationship? Is this just some notes? Is this, wow, we want to crisscross and double tie and like get all this kind of stuff? It's a whole nother level, if you will. But it's literally that easy to kind of build your captions. And here's kind of the cool part. I think it's cool. Basically what you do is all of these custom fields, guess what? I was doing it on top of the customers because that's where I wanted those particular data points. Did you know I could do the exact same things on anything else that I wanted that's in green? These are our 12 main system players, okay? And so what you can do is, like, say for instance, well, let's just take users for an example, okay? Maybe a piece of custom data that Atlas is not recording. What's your shirt size? What's your hat size? What's your eye color? What's your HR records? What's your, like, those may not be things that Atlas is recording, but you could technically build a little teeny database, point and click, on top of any other piece of the puzzle that you needed, okay? Maybe you had vendors and they had specific price points for you, and so you wanted to create this little relationship between vendors and inventory items because maybe you buy from tons of different distributors. If we don't track it, you can go to the FlexGrid and you can actually literally create those things out of the box, already ready to play, so that it knows how to connect all those pieces. This is fairly important. Shannon's a pretty good reader. I call on her often. Shannon, are you okay? You've read this thing before, I know. But,
yeah, for sure I can read. You had a comment from online too.
Yes. Let's do the comment from online.
It was Joe. He said they love the graphics interface, and then he was kind of asking if Russell had done it, and I said yes, but he said they see that as being such a big selling point for the POS screen interface, especially for like retailers or restaurants or really anyone, just like you're saying. How great is that to have your own look and feel and your flow? And yeah, so they were just commenting on it. They think that's really cool.
Awesome.
It's fun to
Joe
see,
actually
too.
met Russell in Colorado at the last training event, and so that's awesome. Joe, congratulations. You're awesome. You're doing great. Are there any other questions before we jump into FlexGrid? I didn't even really mean to go in here, but basically, if we were going to kind of talk about some of these custom interfaces, I think FlexGrid fits in perfectly with that. Like, oh my goodness, I needed this. You guys don't have it. This is me in my confessions, okay? But basically, we had a number of people who were like, hey, is there any way I can get a little field that holds this? Oh, is there any way I could get a little field that holds this? And eventually I'm kind of like, I don't want to have to keep babysitting. Okay, tell you what, we're going to just do it this way. And then you can add 15 of your own and put it wherever you want. And like the pure numbers, like literally on this customers, just for all those things I wanted for the, I think I was using 12 of my custom fields for customers to do all of these core data points and then grade tracking and all this kind of stuff. Like, if we get a big enough need, this right here is actually our precursor, if you will. This is our melting pot, and if people keep using it and using it and using the FlexGrid, for instance, customers, we used to not have a birthday field, okay? People used to be like, oh man, I gotta have that. Like, I want to know how old my clientele is or whatever. They were using the FlexGrid to record birthday, record birthday, record birthday. Well, finally, we got enough requests, but okay, guess what? We need to add that into the main thing. But it's almost like a melting pot in a way. So it kind of helps feed where we're going and kind of what's needed. So it's a great thing because it's flexible. It's out of the box. You can set it up. You can manage it. You can permission it. You can hide it, which is like transparency. You can make it admin. Like, you can do all sorts of different things on these different levels, and it's not required. It totally rides on top. So as if you have a freeway going down the middle of the road, but it's not actually taking up any real estate. It's almost like completely above that. But if you want, and you call the roll call, it'll show all your different connections. Okay?